Okay, first of all, welcome to the EEA Masters Life Coaching Call number 3. Today is Thursday, March 24th, 2016. And again, as I do every week whenever we start our live coaching calls, I want to give you a big thank you and extend my appreciation for attending live. As I mention every single week, I know it's not easy to attend live. You have your own busy schedules and lives. So I really appreciate you taking the time to attend live. And like I also say every week, it helps because I'm not talking to nobody. So thank you. In this live coaching call, we are going to discuss first general pricing concepts and then also specifically the concept of price elasticity. This is something that a few of you had questions about, and it's something that you should know as you start out, selling on Amazon. So I'm going to cover just a few basic principles about pricing your products on Amazon. Secondly, I'm going to show you one method of using Facebook ads to boost your product's ranking on Amazon. So you already know about some different methods of how you need to or how you can increase your rank and boost your ranking on Amazon as you start out, as you launch your product. That's mainly through giveaways. Now, this is another approach that you can use in addition to doing giveaways. And there are many different methods, but I'm going to show you one specific method that has done well for me, and it has somewhat of a reputation in the Amazon selling community amongst certain experts. So I'm going to be sharing that with you, and then we're going to go through submitted Q&A, and then we're going to go through live Q&A at the end. All right, so agenda item number 1, pricing and elasticity. So general pricing, there are 3 methods of pricing your product, okay? So when you think about what price you want to list your product at on Amazon when you start out, you can basically do it one of 3 ways. Either you price your product at a premium or high price, or you go a normal price or an average price, or you can do a low price. So a premium price is basically above the average market price to position your brand and your product as premium and high quality. So if the average market selling price, for example, is like $20, you place your product at $25. You price your product at $25 above the average market selling price. Now, the normal method is you basically are pricing a product at the average market price, and that's to fit in with everyone else and grab some of the market share while not pricing too high or too low. So you're not pricing it so high that it's a premium price. You're not trying to position it that way. You're also not trying to provide a low price where you're trying to undercut the competition. You're kind of just in the mix with everybody else. And so that's the second method of pricing a product. The third method of pricing a product is the low price. So this is the below the average market price to undercut your competitors while not devaluing your product and brand. And that's very, very important. So if you decide to go with the third method, it's very important that you do not devalue your brand. And that's unfortunately what many brands, many Amazon sellers, as they start out, they fall into this mistake where they think that they'll gain market share by lowering their price lower than the competitors. And what happens, one of two things happen. Either the market goes into a pricing war and someone undercuts you, lower than even the price that you put that was already below the average market price. And then your margins essentially disappear. So if you were getting, originally having like a 40% margin, that goes on to like 25% just because the market got into a pricing war. Okay. So that's very dangerous if you do that. The second thing that happens is that your brand is devalued, right? So people don't see your brand as a premium brand. So even if you were, for example, to try to get out of that pricing war and try to increase your price, back up to the normal market price, the average selling price of the premium, at that point you may have issues because the customer base is so used to your pricing being so low. They'll be like, why is this person now charging such a high price? Okay, so then there's a conflict there. And so you want to make sure the low pricing especially is very risky. So what do I recommend? I recommend starting with premium or high pricing. Okay, and the reason I recommend doing that and why I do that for every one of my products is first because you don't have too much to lose. Okay, you're just starting out, so people aren't searching for or buying your product yet anyway, right? So it's not like if you price too high, quote unquote, then you're going to lose sales because you don't have any sales anyway. Okay, so it's not like sales can drop if you increase the price. That's the first thing. The second is because it's much easier, and going off the point I just made about the low pricing and the risks of doing that, it's much easier and in some cases even advantageous to lower your price than to increase your price. So it's easier to lower your price than to increase it. Okay. And the reason I say that in some cases it's even advantageous is that if people see the customers, the potential customers in the market, the shoppers see that your initial price was, let's say, $30, right? Above the average market selling price. It was a premium price, and you didn't do as well as you expected. And now you lower your price from 30 down to like 25 or $23. Right now, some people may think that, oh wow, this premium product is now discounting its products a little bit, and this is an opportunity for us to get their products because they may increase the price again. So even though your pricing has gone lower, a lot of times people, because the perception is that you're a premium brand now because that's how you started, it can actually be advantageous when you lower your price. And that advantage is not available when you are increasing your price if you started with low pricing. The important note here is to be able to charge or test a premium price or a high price. Your product and listing must look premium. This is extremely important. So you can't have a product that looks like trash and a listing that has horrible images, and you're just not optimizing the listing properly according to what you've learned in the course, right? If you're not implementing those strategies, and if your product doesn't look premium and better than all of the other products in the market, mainly your top competitors, then it doesn't make sense to offer premium pricing or high pricing, right? And so that's why even in the course, I strongly urge you and encourage you to focus on your packaging, because the main thing that people see, when looking at your product is your packaging, right? If your product is inside your packaging, and you can make that packaging look as nice as you want, right? A lot of times, unfortunately, even people can get away with making their packaging look amazing and their product sucks. But because the packaging looks amazing, they're able to charge higher prices. And of course, you shouldn't do that. Both your packaging and your product should be really high quality and should be premium. Okay, but you have to make sure that your listing looks good, your images are great, they're high quality, and of course the actual quality of the product and the packaging, that's it's all nice, so that you can actually charge premium pricing, so that it makes sense, right? And so that it's even potentially effective, because you won't even there's not even a point of testing this, pricing, premium or high pricing, like I said, if your product itself is not premium enough. So that was general pricing. With regards to price elasticity, first of all, what is price elasticity and why is it important? Well, price elasticity shows exactly how responsive customer demand is for your product based on its price. So there's a quote by Jill Avery, who's from the Harvard Business School. He says that marketers need to understand how elastic, sensitive to fluctuations in price, or inelastic, largely ambivalent about price changes their products are when contemplating how to set or change a price. So in English, what that means is that we, as Amazon sellers and business owners and marketers, we need to understand how our sales are affected based on our price changes. Okay, that's in simple English. So let's go with example number one. I'm going to show you some examples to kind of get this point across of price elasticity. Let's say at a $20 selling price, you get 10 sales a day. So at that price point and at that sales velocity, you're basically making $200 revenue a day. Let's say at a $15 selling price. So let's say you decrease your price from 20 to 15, and the results or the change in sales is double. So now instead of 10 sales a day, you get 20 sales a day. At that, with that change or with that price elasticity, you're making $300 revenue a day. So in this first example, it makes much more sense for you to charge a lower price, a $15 price point instead of $20, because your sales are doubling. Okay, and because your sales are doubling, then your revenue goes up by $100 a day, which is very significant. Okay, so that's the first example. Second example, and the first example, by the way, is the typical example. Of course, the amount or the degree of the change will differ, but generally, the lower your selling prices, the higher your demand will be, generally speaking, the more sales you will have, generally speaking. So that's kind of the typical example. Example number two, again, in every one of these examples, we start with the same selling price and we start with the same sales per day, right? Which is $20 selling price, 10 sales a day, $200 revenue per day. If we decrease our price to $15 and we get 15 sales a day, right? Then we're making $225 revenue a day. Now, again, there are a couple of things here to note. One is that your revenue is increasing by a minimal margin, right? It's by $25 a day. You're getting more sales, but your price is lower. Now, the reason I've underlined basically anything that you see underlined is kind of a potential risk or something that you should be aware of. And then whatever is bold is basically whatever is, I guess, the better value in terms of revenue. So the reason I underlined $15 selling price in both examples one and two is that a potential risk of doing this, of lowering your selling price, again, is kind of the devaluing of the brand and also getting into somewhat of a pricing war. And I've mentioned these two risks already, right, previously with regards to low pricing. Now, the risk is not as bad with as it is with regards to low pricing, because you're simply trying to test your price and seeing how the market reacts and how the customers on Amazon react. But again, that's you have to kind of consider, well, is it worth lowering my brand value, in this case by $5 in example number two, to get only an additional $25 a day in revenue? Okay, that's kind of a question you need to answer for yourself. What is your primary goal, right? In any testing, you need to understand what your primary goal is and which of your tests, which of your A/B tests, which of your split tests actually results in you achieving that goal or better or closer to that goal, right? So if your goal, for example, is to move more products, right, and is to get more revenue a day, then probably the $15 selling price is better. If your primary goal, on the other hand, was to maintain a premium brand, a high price, and you're okay with if you're okay with not making an additional $25 revenue a day, then of course you would go with the first one, all right? But the point is that you will never know unless you actually test your price and you test price elasticity. Let's move on to example number three. Again, we start at the $20 selling price. We get 10 sales a day, $200 revenue per day. If we decrease our price to $10, we cut it in half and we get 20 sales a day. So before we were getting $20 selling price, 10 sales a day. Now we're getting $10 selling price, 20 sales a day. Our revenue at the end of the day is the same, $200 revenue in both cases. Now, which of these choices, which of these options do we choose? Again, it goes back to what your goal is. Would you rather move more inventory? Would you rather move more units and get more sales velocity and go with the second option, even though your price is cut in half, meaning that your margin on each sale is a lot less? And also, there's a potential to get into a pricing war and also devaluing your brand. Again, that's a question you have to answer for yourself. It depends. Like, if you were to ask me which of these is better, the idea of getting double the sales every single day is very attractive, even though it really hurts to cut my margin in half, essentially, or very close to cutting it in half if you're doing the $10 selling price. Um, but again, it really depends on the specific situation. But I would probably go with the 20 sales a day, just because I'm moving more units in that case. Example number four. At a $20 selling price, you get 10 sales a day, $200 revenue a day. By the way, in example three, the reason I see 20 sales a day, again, there are many different factors that go into making that decision. One of the main factors is, am I building a brand or is this a one-off product? If it was a one-off product, I would definitely go with the second one. If I was doing a seasonal product or a product that's not really building an existing brand, I would probably go with the second option. If I'm building my brand on Amazon, if I already have, let's say, 10 products as part of my brand and I'm adding an 11th or 12th or whatever, in that case, if my brand has already been positioned as a premium brand, then I probably would stick with the first option. Okay. So again, there are many different factors. That was just an additional point on example three. Now, the final example here, example four, again, we start at $20 selling price, get 10 sales a day, $200 revenue. What if our selling price decreases to $10, we cut it in half, and we only get 15 sales a day, right? Obviously, in this example, there's no question that you would want to go with the first one because you're making more revenue, and it's just that's almost a no-brainer in the last one. Okay. The only positive of the second option is that you're getting a few more sales a day, but that's not enough. So the first example, right, you want to pretty obviously go with the second option for the most part. And then in the fourth option, the fourth example, you probably want to go with the first option. So they're kind of the opposite of the two spectrums, or they're on the opposite side of the spectrum, right? And then the two middle ones are kind of situations where you would want to maybe consider the other factors in making your decision. So the reason I shared these four examples with you is to kind of give you um, different perspectives and different, I guess, situations that you may face in your business and how to go about making the decision, right? And then why price elasticity is important. The main point of every single thing that I've mentioned so far with regards to price and price elasticity is that if you don't test for price elasticity, you will never know if you could be doing better. So let's say you're at a $20 price point and you're making, 10 sales a day. You're completely satisfied with that. That's actually beyond your expectations. Whatever the case is, you're making $200 a day revenue. You're completely set on that. You're satisfied. If you don't test your price, if you don't test even an increase in price to $25 or a decrease in price to $15, you kind of just stick to 20, you will never know. Maybe you could have actually had more sales at 25 just because people thought of your brand as more premium at the $25 price point instead of 20, and for that reason they purchased from you. And I know examples firsthand of products from clients and students and even myself when the price, for example, one of my clients, he increased his price from $20 to $30 by $10 because he was going out of stock very quickly. His product was doing very well. You know what happened? He actually started making more sales at the $30 price point. So he's making an additional $10 profit almost per sale, right? Just by the increase, and he's still getting more sales. It's not like his sales cut in half or they completely, disappeared. So you never know how the market will react, and you will never know unless you test it. Similarly, if you don't decrease your price to 15, you will never know. Maybe you will make double the sales just for a $5 decrease in your price. All right. So it's all going back to testing your price. Now, when is it a good time to test? My recommendation is that after you have done your product launch and you've built some traction and ranking, right? So it's going to take you a few weeks to do this, to actually complete your product launch, doing giveaways and whatnot, and also to build some traction and ranking on Amazon. After you have done that, then you can start testing your price periodically if you want to see how the market reacts. For how long should you test it? At least 3 to 5 days, right? There's a very general fear amongst people about testing different elements of their product listing, especially the price, right? And this goes back to kind of being satisfied with where you are and being scared of what will happen if you make a change, right? And I remember this happened, with my business partner in my Amazon business. We were doing like 50 sales a day with one product, and he was like, he's my mentor, so he's always trying to teach me about pricing and how to test and this and that. He was like, hey, edit this part of the thing, or let's test the price or this or that. I was like, don't touch it, right? Don't do anything to it. 50 sales a day is amazing. Like I would never even have imagined that we would get to that level, and we got there, and I was like, don't even touch any part of this, any part of this. But the thing is that if I had tested something and what if our sales had increased from 50 to 60, right? But there's a fear that, okay, well, if I touch something, if I mess with something, it's just gonna completely blow over and it's not gonna do well, right? The thing about testing is that you can always go back to what you're doing, right? I know people who have tested, like they're doing like 20 sales a day, and then they change their price or they change something on their listing, and the next day, the next like 2 or 3 days, they basically have like half the sales that they normally did, and then they change it back. Like one of my clients or colleagues, he basically changed the images on his listing. He put what he thought were higher quality images, and his customers, the market reacted terribly to it, and he had half the sales. He was like, wait, I'm putting better quality images. Why are my sales dipping? This doesn't make any sense. And then he switched it literally a few days later back to the original images, and his sales went back to normal, right? So the thing is that, first of all, you shouldn't be afraid to test because you never know. Again, it might turn badly, but again, you can change it right back. The other thing is that don't um, switch back too quickly, right? Because if you switch your price or something of your product listing, and again, specifically, we're talking about price right now. If you switch your price, if you change it a little bit, if you adjust it, and you see that your sales dip the next day, don't don't be haphazardly change it back right away, right? Give it some time. Give it at least, like I said here, 3 to 5 days to see the results. Even if your sales are half what they were normally or whatever, give it 3 to 5 days to see what the results are going to be. Look at the average results across those 3 to 5 days, or even a week if you need more than that. Again, at least 3 to 5 days, and then based on the results of that test, make a decision. Should I change it back or should I leave it, again, based on the results? And again, remember that price can be changed at any time, right? It's literally a couple of clicks, 15 minutes wait, and your price is changed back to what it was. So it's not like there's a long, tedious process to doing that. All right, agenda item number 2, Facebook ads. Before I jump into that, I just want to get y'all's feedback. If y'all have anything to say so far, any questions on what was discussed about pricing or elasticity, anything at all? If not, then we'll move on. I'll wait like 15 seconds. Anything? Have y'all fallen asleep? Okay. Excellent. All right. So I got a couple of comments. That's good. All right. So no question. So let's move on. Okay. So there is a question. Okay. There's a question not related to this topic. Cool. You can ask that at the end in the live Q&A. Excellent. Okay. Perfect. So let's jump into Facebook ads. All right. So agenda item number 2, Facebook ads. Now, there are many different ways to use Facebook ads for Amazon selling. Today, I'm going to show you one method of the various methods that you could use to boost your Amazon product ranking using Facebook ads. And this specific method is based on this concept, this two-word concept known as sales velocity. Now, we're going to try to get as many sales as possible in a short period of time. So the purpose is the same as the giveaways. Obviously, we're trying to boost our sales velocity, trying to get as many sales and as a short period of time as possible. And we are manipulating two things in this method that I'm going to show you. Number one, as I said, is sales velocity, and number two is conversion rate, and I'll explain what that means in a little bit. So here is the Facebook ad template or example that you can use for yourself to do this method. And this is the first part of this method, is that we're going to place a Facebook ad using a Facebook page, right? We're going to put up a sponsored post essentially on Facebook. And the Facebook page you'll need to create. So whatever profile you're using right now on Facebook, you can create as many Facebook pages as you want, essentially using that profile. So it's not like you're creating a new Facebook profile or anything like that. You're simply creating a page under your existing profile. And that's important that you create your Facebook page under a real profile, right? Don't do it under like a fake name profile, which I don't know why you would have anyway, but if you do for whatever reason, don't use that one to do this. You want to use your actual real profile. You're going to create a page about you can do one of two things. You can either create a page of a random person, right? So in this case, for example, the person or the title of the page is, or the name of the page is Chef Louis Loves Cooking, right? And it's a very generic image, as you can see, of the profile, of the page profile. It's just a fork and a knife. And you can do this too, right? You can be, anything related to your brand, or it can be even a made up person's name but something that relates to the specific market or niche that you're in. So in this case, we're selling a kitchen product, so we're putting Chef Louis, right? That's a very common, I guess, chef's name. And you can, we could have put just Chef Louis and that would have been enough, but we put in this case, we put the name of the page as Chef Louis Loves Cooking. That's perfectly fine as well. The point is that you want to do one of those two things. Either you put up just a person's name, a generic name that relates to the brand or the niche or the market that you're in, or you can add the topic, or whatever you're focusing on, which is loves cooking in this case. So then you have the copy: insane Amazon 50% sale. Today only save 50% off this tea kettle, top rated on Amazon with 5-star reviews. Buy on Amazon.com and use this coupon code. You can use this exact same copy, and you can put the uh, coupon code here as well. In this case, you probably won't put the coupon code because you want them to actually, well, I'm going to explain that in a second. You could put the coupon here, but there's two different methods or two different approaches to this method. So then you're going to put click to buy, and you're going to put the super URL here. So if you want to drive them directly to your listing, to your Amazon listing, that's the first approach of this method, is to drive them directly from the Facebook ad to your Amazon listing. Then you would put the super URL here. So they click the super URL, and then they purchase your product. And of course, if you go back to the course, you'll understand what the benefits of the super URL are, and that's covered in module number 7. And then you can see the image. It's very simple, just an image of the product, and you have the Amazon logo, insane Amazon sale today. Crazy good sale price of 50% off today only, expires midnight tonight, limited quantity. All right, so this is basically the ad. And again, you can copy this exact ad, of course, just change it up based on your product, based on your market. Now, you can vary how much of a discount you want to offer. It doesn't have to be 50%. It can be up to even 90% off. But the closer you get to full price sales, the better, right? Obviously, the more profit you make, the lower the discount is. So if you're giving away 50%, giveaways, it's much better than a 90% giveaway, just because you're making more money, or you're losing less money, right? Because you're doing giveaways. So the better that is. But it's also harder, obviously. Depending on how much of a discount you offer, your promotion flow will change. So this is what I was talking about when I mentioned that there are two different approaches in this method of doing Facebook ads to boost your Amazon product listing ranking. So the first approach, let's just say if you're doing a 90% off sale, that's a very significant discount. It's a very high percentage discount. So in that case, most likely I would drive my Facebook traffic, my Facebook ad would go directly to the Amazon product listing, because the discount is so high. I'm not worried that a lot of people will go there and not purchase, because that will hurt my conversion rate. And like I said, we're manipulating two things using this method. The first is sales velocity, the second is conversion rate. Now, conversion rate plays a role in your ranking on Amazon. So the higher your conversion rate is, the better your ranking will be on Amazon. The better your BSR will be, the better your search string traffic will be in most cases. So you want to make sure that your conversion rate is not being affected negatively. So if you were to do a 50% off coupon and you drove Facebook traffic to the Amazon product listing, a lot of those people probably wouldn't buy, because the discount's not high enough to where if you direct them directly to the listing, that they will decide to purchase. But if it's 90% off, then a lot of people will be like, yeah, I want to take advantage of this. You don't need to put anything in between the Facebook ad and the product listing, which I'll show you in the next example if we were to do a 50% off coupon code. So 90% off, you can go from Facebook directly to the Amazon product listing. If you were to do 50% off, okay, now you need to protect your conversion rate, because if you send 100 people, you want to make sure that not too many of them will go to the product listing and not buy. Otherwise, that'll actually hurt you in your ranking through your conversion rate. So if you're doing 50% off, then you want to put something in between Facebook, the ad, and your product listing. Before they get to the product listing, they have to first go to this landing page, okay? And I'm going to explain what that is and how we use that to better our conversion rate using this method. So this is to protect your conversion rate, which I've already mentioned affects your rank on Amazon. So here is what your landing page will look like, or here's what it can look like if you want to use this template, which I'll also talk about in a little bit. So it's just very simple. Here is your 50% Amazon.com coupon code, your product image you put there. You pretty much, you can use this exact copy on your landing page, and then you put the coupon code here, how to get this for X amount on Amazon.com, and then the coupon code you put on this page, all right? So in this example, you would not, if you go back to the image of the Facebook ad, you would not put the coupon code on the Facebook ad. You would hide that. You would not put it there. you would put the URL of the landing page, and then the coupon code would only be able to be seen by the person who clicks on the ad once they actually get to the landing page. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, so here's where you give the coupon code. And now, one thing I've mentioned in the course is that you want to make sure that you use single-use coupon codes, right? That's for giveaways. That's generally if you're doing free giveaways or giveaways at the $1 or $2 price point. In this case, if you're doing like 50% off, you don't necessarily need to worry about that. All right. Now, because if you're selling a product for, let's say, $20 normally, and you're getting a $10 product coupon code, then you're not going to have to worry about this coupon code being shared across like deal sites and whatnot, because it's not something that's free or very cheap, like $1 or $2, right? In that case, someone can really buy out your inventory, which is why you would want to use single-use coupon codes. Because if someone shared your, let's say, 95% off coupon code, then you'd be really in a bad situation. Whereas in this case, you don't have to worry about that, because the likelihood of someone taking your 50% coupon code and sharing it and having someone buy out your inventory is extremely unlikely. It's almost impossible, just because the cost would be so high of doing that, right? So that's another advantage of doing a lower percentage discount, is to avoid having your coupon code shared and your inventory being bought out. All right. So that's why in this case, you can put that coupon code on this landing page, regardless of who sees it. They can use this coupon code just because they're on this page. All right, so continuing on down the page, this is again the landing page that you would send them to from the Facebook ad if you're doing like a 50% coupon, discount. So then you just very clearly outline the steps, right? If you're in business and marketing, you should know that. And again, I talk about this when we talk about the bullets and the description of the product listing. Never assume that the person who's on your product listing or who's on your landing page, never assume that they know what to do. Very clearly always tell them exactly what to do. So step one, click on the link below to get to get to our Amazon product page. Step two, add the item to your cart and proceed to checkout, right? It's almost like you don't, it's like commonly known that, yeah, obviously that's how you buy a product on Amazon. But again, tell them exactly what you want them to do. It's going to make your conversion rate a lot better, right? People, just because you gave them instructions, they're much more likely to actually go ahead and do it. And then step three, on the checkout page, use this coupon code. Again, you want to relist the coupon code, right? So you show them exactly how to use the coupon code, and then you show them the coupon code again so that they don't lose it, they don't forget it. And then you have this big green button that says, click on the button below, order now on Amazon.com. And if you want, at the bottom of the landing page, you can also put, if you need any help, let us know. You can put the support email down there as well. All right, so that's the landing page that you would send them to. Again, if you were to do like a 50% coupon code. So what you need to actually do this method, right? Again, just going back before we get into what you need, going back into the two different approaches. One is if you do a very large discount, you send them directly from the Facebook ad. If you do like an 80% discount, 90% discount, you send them directly from the Facebook ad to your Amazon product listing. If you have a lower discount percentage, which is what I recommend, you send them from your Facebook ad to a landing page, which is exactly what I just showed you. And then from the landing page, they go to your Amazon product listing. Now, what you need a Facebook page, as I've mentioned, that's free, right? You can create that with your existing Facebook profile. Number two, your landing page or marketing funnel platform, right? You need that to actually put up a landing page that you can send them to. You can use this, or you can, do this by using ClickFunnels, which I recommend highly. I use this for all my businesses. It's very robust. It's very powerful in what it can do. It's not only a landing page builder, it's much more of a marketing funnel platform. That's $97 a month. So it's a bit hefty in terms of the costs, but it could be worth it in the long run. Again, that's up to you. It's $97 a month. That's their base price. You get a lot with that base price, but that's what it is. And then Lead Pages is $37 a month. This is another very popular option. And again, you can decide whichever one you want to go with, depending on if you're going to use it in other areas of your business or not. Email autoresponder is the third thing you need. So this is kind of another option that you can include in your how should I say it, in the process. So you can actually collect email leads. So they only get the coupon code if they opt in to the email opt-in, right? So what I mean is that now there's kind of an additional step. So the landing page, if you were to include an email autoresponder, would consist of two steps. You would go from the Facebook ad to the landing page opt-in page, right? In the opt-in page, they basically click a button that says, yes, I want this coupon code. Yes, I want to get this product for 50% off. They click on that, and then there's a pop-up that comes up that says, enter your email address to get this. So then they put in the email address. Then once they do that, they opt in. Then they go to the next page where they have all the steps. Okay. So now what you would do in that case, first of all, you already acquired their email. You do that by integrating an email autoresponder such as MailChimp. Okay. And then in the back end, once they actually opt into your email list, then you can send them an email with the same instructions that you put on the thank you page after they opted in by putting in their email. Okay, so just in case if they, for example, didn't decide to buy, they opted in, they put in their email address, they got to the landing page, and for whatever reason they decided not to, they xed out the page or whatever. At the same time, they got an email that you sent them through this autoresponder, this email platform, MailChimp, that basically gives them the exact same instructions as you put on that page. So they might reconsider and they might purchase if they see that email from you. Okay. So MailChimp is one option, and then Aweber is another very popular option. Both are very inexpensive and small investments, but you need that to actually make this funnel work. All right. So now, um, the final points on Facebook ads, if you really want to protect your conversion rate, you can even add an additional step to your funnel, right? So when you have a 90% discount, you went straight from the Facebook ad to the Amazon product listing. When you had a 50% discount, you went from the Facebook page or the Facebook ad to the landing page to the Amazon product listing. Now, if you wanted to protect your conversion rate even further, if you wanted even higher quality leads to get to your product listing and most of them to actually purchase, then you can add an additional page even before the landing page. So when a Facebook ad is clicked, you take them to what is known as a pre-landing page, and this is a good example of what that looks like. So you're basically simply putting a very bland page, very basic, plain page. All it has is some kind of instructions here, and then they have to click yes, I agree. There's not even an opt-in, there's nothing here. They simply have to click the button to get to the landing page, which they would have gotten to anyway, right? So you're just adding this additional step before they get to the landing page. Now, this doesn't seem like much, but this one extra step of adding a pre-landing page will eliminate a lot of people who are just clicking the ad to take a look at the product. This is known as pre-framing the sale by presenting some hurdles, right? The pre-landing page itself is a hurdle that requires them to read it and then click on the button before they can actually get to the next page, which is the actual page where they can opt in to get the discount code. This is also known as pre-qualifying the prospect. So you're qualifying the prospect, you're putting them through different hurdles and making them go through different steps so that you get the highest quality leads as possible when they get to the product listing. If you have someone who's not only clicked the Facebook ad, but then clicked the button on the pre-landing page, then opted into the email address on the landing page, and then read all the instructions on the thank you page, and then they finally get to the product listing, right? They've taken these 5 steps. Now, who in their right mind would take 5 steps like that, spend like 2 minutes doing that, and then not buy the product at the end? Obviously, what they're doing when they're taking those steps, they're telling you, yes, I really want this, right? And if the fewer hurdles you have, the fewer steps you have in the process, the lower quality leads you have at the end, and the less likely the people are to actually buy the product at the end. So if you have all these hurdles, your rate of people who actually get to the product listing and buy maybe something like 90% or 85%. Whereas if you didn't have these hurdles, you may have a conversion rate on your landing or your product listing of like 60% or 50%, right? So the conversion rate is affected significantly based on how many steps you're putting. So that's why the pre-landing page can also work well if you really care about your conversion rate. All right, so there's no perfect way to actually go about this, okay? There are many different factors and variables that go into this, depending on what your selling price is, depending on what discount you're offering, depending on what your Facebook ad looks like, depending on what your landing pages look like, depending on how many things you put in the process, how many hurdles you have, do you have a pre-landing page or not, right? All of those things are factors and variables, so I can't tell you what way will work best or what you should do. So you may want to experiment with both approaches and see which one is better, right? So do that, experiment. And again, you can use different coupon codes for each approach to see which one has the better redemption rate. So you can set up two different landing pages and use two different coupon codes, and then test and see, okay, well, which one actually resulted in better results, which had the better redemption rate, and compared to how much you spent on your Facebook ads. All right, so now before we move on to the submitted Q&A, I have a surprise bonus for you guys. Basically because I love you guys. So I'm going to give you this entire Facebook Amazon selling funnel for free, okay? Just because you guys are EA members, you guys are students, and I don't lose anything by not sharing this with you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the ClickFunnels page templates with you. Like I said, I use ClickFunnels, and the only way you're going to be able to actually get the template, what I mean by template, in ClickFunnels, what's amazing is that when I build a funnel out, no matter how many pages it has, this funnel that I'm going to share with you the will have the pre landing page. It will have the landing page opt-in. It'll have the landing page thank you, which has the instructions on how to use the coupon code. It'll have all three of those pages in it. And all I have to do is share a link with you, a ClickFunnels link that when you open your ClickFunnels account, it literally copies the entire funnel and every page in it into your account, right? It's pretty awesome. So you get exactly what I have through this method. So you're going to get all these ClickFunnels page templates. And then I'm also going to include as part of this bonus some Facebook ads training, because I know many of you may not have ever done Facebook ads in the past. So I'll actually show you. It takes 5 to 10 minutes. All you have to do is create a Facebook page, and then you basically have to put up a post and you sponsor, or you pay for that post to be boosted and sponsored, and then it starts showing up in front of people on Facebook, and then they obviously click on the ad and then go through the entire process. So it's going to be a very short training, maybe let's say 10 minutes or so, on how to create a Facebook page and how to put up your first ad. I'll include that as part of this bonus as well. So the link to the surprise bonus will be posted very soon. I have to basically make the ClickFunnels pages kind of what's it called? Be able to be used by everybody, because obviously right now they'll have my product coupon codes and my product images. I just have to put placeholders there so that you guys can use them for your own use, and also so that you don't know what my products are. Um, so I have to do that, and then I'll share the link there. And you can ClickFunnels has a 2-week free trial that you can use, so you can check it out. See if you like it, maybe even test it out with Facebook ads, and then if you like it, then you continue at the $97 a month price point. If not, then you can cancel it. So agenda item number 3, submitted Q&A. I'm going to go through this fairly quickly before we get into the live Q&A, just so that we can do all the live Q&A at once at the end. So agenda item number 3, submitted Q&A. We have, I think, 4 questions total. So number 1, I'm having major issues with product selection. Can you please help elaborate on how you can help with this? So my response to this question, honestly, everything you need with regards to product selection is covered in depth in the course. I mean, you already know this, and I've basically put in a lot of time and effort to make that module number 2, as comprehensive as possible. So if you haven't already done so, I also recommend, first of all, of course, go through the course, refresh your concepts and fundamentals on product selection. There's even a video, if I'm not mistaken, or a lesson that shows exactly how I go about, finding products. I even found one in that video. It's like a raw video, I think, where I found a product myself just by, utilizing and using the same strategies that I taught in the course. I wanted to record that video for you guys, to show you that I can do this live. I'm not, I didn't like plan that video and record it and edit it. I literally put it up as I recorded it, as I did it. So have a look at that video specifically and lesson and see how I went about doing it. Also, in addition to that, I recommend you check out the live presentation section in the EA members area. I'm going to put that section up later today. What happened is that for the promotions that I did for the second launch of this course just a few weeks ago, I recorded some special live presentations and webinars myself and also with other people. And one of those webinars and presentations was about how I found 18 products in less than 60 minutes that I was showing the audience and those who were considering buying my course that you could sell these products on Amazon today that do 10 plus sales a day. So I shared these, and again, I think some of you may have attended, some of you may have not. So what I'm gonna do is, because I've recorded these sessions, and this wasn't the only one, there was another one about how you can basically get from 0 to 10K a month in revenue on Amazon very, very quickly. Now, again, a lot of these concepts, that I taught in these live presentations were basically the same things that I taught in more depth, that I teach in more depth, more in depth in the course itself. It's just kind of put together in a way where it's making it seem a lot easier and simpler for the audience because they haven't actually purchased the course yet. Nevertheless, some people said that, hey, can you please also send us the links to these recordings? Even though we know that the course itself is more in depth, but we'd still like to see some of these recordings. I was like, okay, that's fine. So I'm going to put up the live presentation section later today. It will include this presentation that I would arguably say that this is one of the best presentations that I've done because I was literally able to sit down 60 minutes before this call that I did, this recording that I did, and I was able to find 18 products to show everybody that, hey, I did this in 60 minutes, 18 products. That means you can do this too. And these are actually good products, so I'll share that with you. Just that may help the person who asked this question. Number two, Amazon is blocking ASINs. Is that an issue and should we be concerned? So this is the issue that came up just a few days ago, right? There was this article going around in the Amazon selling community in many, many Facebook groups that, hey, Amazon is now blocking ASINs. Are we kind of shooting in the dark now? How do we know if our FBA private labeled products will even, be allowed to be sent to Amazon warehouses in the US? So is there anything that we should be concerned about? Not too much, in my opinion. I'm still doing more research, but at this point, I wouldn't be too concerned. What I would recommend is see the comments that I posted in response to the same question that was posted by someone in our Facebook group. That's the first thing you should do. The second thing is also see the post that I put up just yesterday or a couple of days ago in our Facebook group with the link to the article. It's an article that elaborates a lot on this issue. So see that, it's a great read. I think that may clarify some issues for you about this. And then finally, if you have any additional specific questions or concerns, even after checking both of the above, you can post them in the Facebook group and I'll check them out and I'll respond. And also, like I said, I'm still continuing to do research on this topic, okay? It's going to be ongoing, and I'm going to continue looking into it. I'm going to continue asking people and talking to people and seeing what they think, other experts in the Amazon selling community, and I will keep you all updated on any news and developments. Number three, do you only do giveaways during the product launch phase, or can you slash should you do it again? If yes, when? So this is a good question. Giveaways must be done when launching your product. Okay, highly, highly recommended. As I've mentioned previously, it is the easiest and most practical known way to gain rank quickly and effectively on Amazon as you start out. So you definitely, when you launch your product, you definitely should do giveaways. You can also do giveaways later as well, okay, in addition to the product launch. So later, if you see that your product, for example, is, let's say, lowering in rank and you need to get it up, back to where it was, you can do giveaways at that point. So at any time, really. Again, it just depends on the circumstances, like I said. If your product is not performing as well as you think it should, if you, see that competitors are overtaking you, if your search traffic ranking is falling, if you're on page 1 slot, let's say 8, and now you're on page 2 slot 3 or whatever, right? You can use the super URL to do the giveaways method to again build that rank up as you need to. Number 4, again, this is related to doing giveaways. If you choose the fast blast method of doing giveaways, is it okay to reduce the number of giveaways from 50 to say 20 on each day? So the fast blast method, for those who don't remember, is basically you're going to do on day 1 50 giveaways, on day 4, sorry, you're going to do another 50 giveaways if your total giveaways was to be 100. So this person is saying, if I was to, instead of do 50 and 50, if I was to just do 20 and 20, then after 2 months, when I do the tiered method, which is another method that I presented in the course, I do 60 additional giveaways. So if I had 100 total to give away and I just did 40 when I did my launch, which is 20 and 20 on days 1 and 4, and I had 60 left, I can do those later after 2 months. Still totals 100 giveaways, or is it best to stick to the suggested methods? So don't forget that the number of giveaways, first of all, even before I answer the question, it depends on the amount of inventory you have. Around 10 to 20% of your first batch of inventory should be allocated to giveaways. Now, if that 10 to 20% is 100 giveaways, then that's fine. If not, then you want to make that adjustment based on the percentages. Having said that, yes, it is okay to adjust or reduce the number or the percentage of giveaways that you're doing for your product launch. But the most important time, as I've mentioned before, to do giveaways by far is when you launch your product. So if you have 100 units to give away, what I would recommend to answer this question is doing 60 for the product launch instead of only doing 40, right? Doing 60 for the product launch. And again, you can use any method. It doesn't have to be fast blast or tiered. You can use any one. As I mentioned in the course, tiered is probably the best way to go. And you save the remaining 40 for later giveaways that you do later. So put more into the product launch and put less into what you're going to do later. All right, agenda item number 4, live Q&A. So we're basically done with everything that was prepared for this presentation. Now, if you guys have any questions, either about what was presented or anything else related to the course or anything, go ahead and ask. Okay, so some people said that y'all lost audio. Is that obviously if you can't hear me, you won't be able to answer that question, but is it good now? Someone said it is good now. Can I get another confirmation? Couple. This would be very awkward if you lost for about 20 seconds. Okay, not a problem. Okay, perfect. So it seems like it's good now. Sorry for the. Can someone tell me what 20 seconds? Which 20 seconds were? I mean, did you miss anything that was kind of something that I need to repeat, or was it okay? Okay, I think we're good. All right, one question that just came in. Someone said that I feel a little overwhelmed as I'm not able to go through the course as fast as I would have liked. Is this a concern? No, absolutely, it's not a concern. Again, don't concern yourself with what other people are doing and how fast they're going or how slowly they're going through the course. Worry about yourself and just make sure that you're taking consistent action, as little as it may be. Again, your situation, your circumstances are different and unique to yourself. From everybody else. So just go at it at your own pace. Again, you have lifetime access to the course, to all the content, to all of these recordings. And even if, again, some of these concepts and things I'm presenting during these presentations are not necessarily meant, hopefully not to overwhelm you, but I'm presenting them just so you know of these other methods and things that you can do to help you build your Amazon business, such as what I did today about Facebook ads and about telling you about pricing and elasticity. These are just concepts that are better if you know them. They're additional to what's already in the course, okay? But again, hopefully they don't overwhelm you. Hopefully it's just extra knowledge that you and information that you can take to improve and better your business once you're there. Okay, this doesn't mean that you have to implement or even really research or really know these things in and out right now. Right, it's good that you're attending live and you're kind of got the overall gist of this, process and these different methods and approaches. But again, go back to the fundamentals. The course is the most important thing, and take consistent, timely action. And it's okay as long as it takes for you. It's fine. It's again, you have lifetime access. You can go through the training as many times as you want, as slowly, quickly as you want. So no worries there. Okay, so someone said that the third question was when I was cut off. Um, So yeah, like I mentioned, giveaways should be done when launching the product, but you can also do them later in addition to the product launch based on your circumstances or situation. So if you're losing rank or search rank, your BSR is going down, or your search ranking, where your product is showing up when you search for your main keyword, based on that situation, you can do giveaways later as well. Is our membership for life? Yes, inshallah. You can get access to the videos in the future as well. Absolutely. Um, am I using a sourcing agent? Do I recommend using one in the beginning? No, I do not. I'm not currently using a sourcing agent or a shipping agent. Um, I actually stocked very highly on my products. I have about between 10 and 15 products, and I like really, really stocked them a lot before the holidays in 2015. So I still have a lot of stock. So I haven't even sourced any new products in the past couple of months. I'm focusing on selling the existing inventory that I have. But the next time I go about selecting a new product and adding more products to my brand, I will likely use a sourcing agent or a shipping agent. I'm definitely gonna do ocean shipping most likely just because, as Ridwan presented last week, that's essential for anyone who really wants to set themselves apart, be able to charge lower prices potentially, and your cost is extremely low with ocean shipping compared to air shipping. Um, so yeah, that's I guess my unhelpful answer to that question. Uh, do you use shipping agents who do everything or pick up from the port? Um, that's a good question. Again, I personally haven't done that yet. I will the next time. Um, but I would probably find someone, as Ridwan mentioned last week, who can take care of everything. That's the easy way to go. But again, you could just use a freight forwarder to pick up from the port and take it to Amazon. That's up to you. Giveaway, are they free or discounted pricing? Giveaways can be either free or discounted. It doesn't make too much of a difference. There are some subtle differences, but for the most part, it's okay. What I would try to do is initially try to do 195 discounts because you are going to save a little bit of money and lose a little bit less money if you do at least get 195 out of that giveaway instead of nothing. So that's what I would recommend. At least do 195 or 205 or 295, whatever it is. See if people actually will do the giveaway even though they have to pay a little bit of money. If that works, perfect. If not, then you can decrease that even further if you want. Do you have to do something special to qualify your product for Prime shipping from FBA? No, absolutely not. Um, Prime is the Prime shipping is available to anyone who has Amazon Prime. You automatically, just for using FBA, are able to have Prime shipping. That's just automatic when you use FBA. Not only are the people who have Prime able to get your free 2 day shipping, which is an advantage of Prime, but also on orders above $35, they get free shipping as well. So that's several advantages to having FBA. That's again why this entire business model is based off of that concept or that foundation is FBA because you get those advantages of Prime. Hopefully that answered the question. How many samples do you recommend trying before placing a large order? 3 to 5. Well, I mean, I don't know if you mean by samples like different product samples or if you mean of the same product. If it's different product samples, then yes, I would order 3 to 5 product samples and then from there, see which one of them is the best and then, choose that supplier. I'm not sure if that's the answer to the question you're looking for. Oh, okay, of the same. So, um, when it's the same product, you don't necessarily have to get um, you don't have to get necessarily many samples of that product. If that first sample that you got satisfies you in terms of quality and in terms of everything that you're looking for, then that's fine. And pretty much that's what I've done with all my products is that I get like 5 different samples from 5 different suppliers and then I choose the best one. And I don't get any additional samples after that, fact after, from the top supplier. I just get that same sample. I make sure that the quality is going to be the same. I also always ask them, hey, is there better quality materials that you can use or not? Are there any ways we can improve the product? Or if I have some specific requirements, then of course I tell them. Now, what you could do potentially if you were really, really cautious, and again, this would require more time and it'll delay you, but you could say, hey, can you produce one of these units for me? Send it to me. I'll check it out. It'll have the logo on it. It'll have packaging. It'll have like everything like the final product would look And then if you do that, and you're satisfied completely, and then you place the mass order, you could also do that. I don't think that's necessary. It's just going to delay you. Again, try to make this as quick as possible while also being as cautious as possible, but you don't have to be overly cautious, in my opinion. But we still pay the complete Amazon fees with each sale of the free giveaways. So that's a very good question. To the best of my knowledge, you pay Amazon fees based on the selling price, based on the price, excuse me, not the selling price. What I mean is that you pay fees or percentage fees to Amazon based on the price or the amount that the customer pays. Okay. So if there's a discount applied, then the fees will be based on however much that discount was or what that discounted price was. Now, there is a catch to that. Amazon charges a minimum of $1 regardless. So if you're doing a free giveaway, then you're going to be charged the percentage on that at least $1. Okay, that's simply for um, I believe that's only for the on based on the selling price. Now there are additional, again, there are two different fees associated in the 35 to 40% total that Amazon is charging you. One is just for selling on Amazon, the other is for FBA. Now I believe the FBA fee is what will be $1 minimum. The other fee still applies. Okay, so if your other fee is like $2 or something, and then you're going to add the additional dollar, then you're looking at a $3 total. Again, that's based on the price or the amount that the customer paid to you based on whatever the discount is, minimum being $1 that you have to pay. Hopefully that made sense. Did that make sense or was that confusing? Okay. All right. So, okay, not okay, a bit not clear. Okay, so let me put it this way. Basically, if you're selling a $20 product, Amazon's going to charge you about 40% total. If your customer pays $20 for that product, they're going to take $8 from you, which is 40%, and they're going to give you $12, right? So 8 goes to Amazon, 12 goes to you, and then of course to get the profit, you're going to basically subtract whatever your cost was to produce that product and also to ship it from the $12 that you got, and that's your profit essentially, right? That's your soft profit margin. Now, if you're doing a giveaway, okay, now you're basically decreasing your price from, let's say, $20 to $2, okay? Now, or 195, whatever. Let's just say $2 for simplicity. At the $2 price point, your Amazon is charging you a flat rate of just selling on Amazon, which is like $2 and something cents. And then they're also charging you a percentage on the selling price or the price that the customer paid, which is in this case $2 at the discounted price. Now, the $2, if you do the like 20% of $2, it's less than $1. But the thing is that it's like 40 cents. But the thing is that Amazon has a policy that they will minimum charge you $1 regardless of what the selling price is. So even if your selling price is zero, even if it's free, you're still going to be charged $1 just for fulfilling that order. Okay, so now that $1 is flat. Okay, as doesn't matter how low you go after the fact that you have your percentage. If your 20% is $1, it doesn't matter how low you go from there. So if your price point is $5, then you're going to be charged $1, which is 20%. If your price point is $6, then you'll be charged $1, whatever, right? Whatever 20% is. But if you go below $5, anything below $5 price point that you offer as a discount will you'll be charged the same. So even if you charge 50 cents or 250 or 350, just because it's under $5, okay, Amazon will charge you $1 minimum for fulfilling that order. And in addition to that dollar that you have to pay, you're also paying like $2 and something flat, which they charge basically for selling on Amazon. So you're going to look at around $3, 350 for fulfilling for selling that giveaway, for giving away that product. Hopefully that clears it up. I'm not sure if it did. So in the case of the normal price of $20, you basically made profit. If your product cost $6 to source and ship, you made $6 profit because you got $12 from Amazon. Take out the six for production and shipping, you made $6 profit. In the case where you did a giveaway, you were charged $3.50 Amazon fees, okay, and your cost of the product was $6. You basically lost about $9 total for that giveaway. Okay. Now, again, as we've discussed in the course, don't think of it as you're losing money, as though you're giving away your products for free and you're losing money. No, you're buying rank. You have to think of it that way, that you're basically paying $9 to improve your rank by a certain amount on Amazon. Okay. All right, perfect. All right, everybody. So that is the conclusion of this third of 5 live coaching calls. Again, I want to thank you all for attending this live coaching call. I really appreciate you being patient. Again, each of these calls lasts above an hour or so. But again, I really want to thank you, and I appreciate that you stayed all this time. And I hope that whatever was presented, not only in this live coaching call, but also in the previous 2 that we've done so far, I hope it was beneficial to you and valuable to you, and hope it helps you build and grow your own Amazon business. For the next live coaching call, we may have to not have it next week, but the week after. We might push next week's to the week after, just because I'll be traveling. I'll be out of town for about 8 days or so, starting Monday, this coming Monday, the 28th of March, until the following Tuesday, which is April 5th. So we may not have a live coaching call next week. Again, I'll be updating you all via email and in the Facebook group soon. So look forward to that. Stay tuned for that. Otherwise, have a great rest of this week. Have a great next week. And I will see you in about 2 weeks for our 4th live coaching call. If you guys have any concerns, questions, anything else, the best place to post anything is in the Facebook group. Or if you have a direct question for me, then email me. Okay, do not Facebook message me. I've said this in the past. But again, just a reminder for all of you. Thank you all so much for attending. I will see you all in a couple of weeks. Take care. Assalamu alaikum.